Hello, my name is Kim and welcome to the Embroidered Elephant channel. My craft room is a mess, so welcome to my decluttering series. I am lucky enough to have my own crafty office where I do a lot of sewing, crocheting and various other things. I have made myself a pot with all the different tasks and the areas that I need to clean up and little jobs that I need to do to make me feel like I've got my life more together. And every day I am going to take one of these out and do the task on there once I've set myself a timer. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to video number 3, I think, of decluttering. I have got a bit more time today, so I'm going to be going through a long task. Let's see what's in here. So just a reminder, the long tasks are the pink ones, so let's see what I've got in store. Aha. So this is paperwork. So I've got a bit more time today, thankfully. I am still probably going to set my timers, but let me show you the issue and I will run through a rough plan with you. So this is just under my ironing desk. Ignore this. Yeah, it's hanging on just about for dear life, but I can't deal with that at the moment, so just ignore it. These bags are just spare for the duration of the decluttering process. But yes, this is a pile of paperwork. Mainly, I think that there are going to be lists in there. There's a lot of patterns, as you can see. Lists mainly for project ideas. Notes that need to go through, etc, etc. There's just a lot of stuff. This will take a long time, but let me put it all on my desk and then I can start looking through it. So as I said, most of these will have a semi sort of theme. So the first folder that is on the pile is sewing patterns. So this is something that obviously I can put the rest of my sewing patterns into. I think this is also sewing patterns, but rather than ideas, yeah, this is a folder I'll have to go through. Sorry, the camera's not wide enough. This, I don't know what is in. I think that this is either stuff to do with YouTube or stuff to do with crochet. But either way, I will need to sort everything out. So my semi-plan is to organise the paperwork on the desk. So I will have one pile for all of the random little notes. I'll have another pile for all the random little crochet patterns I have, one for sewing, and then a miscellaneous one, I guess. But yes, let me start to sort this out and then I will come back to you at the end. And as usual, I will be setting a 25-minute timer and I will check in with you after that. So here you will see that I am just making some little notes. So I went with 4 in the end: miscellaneous, YouTube, sewing and crochet. So automatically I have already put loads of things in my sewing pile. Here I am going through random notes. Again, a lot of these are to do with YouTube ideas, and a lot of them that I am sort of putting off to the side are to do with work. Things that shouldn't be sort of just laying around, different policies and boring things like that. Here's a notebook. I am taking out all of the pages with notes on, and again splitting those up by YouTube ideas and miscellaneous ideas or notes. So the sewing pattern section is getting quite big now, and so is the miscellaneous lists. I've decided to put them into the black document file so that they're a bit more together. The bag in front of me is full of receipts. So this is what 25 minutes worth of work looks like. A whole mess. So quickly, I've got receipts over here that need to be sorted. I've got crochet patterns, and everything underneath is just random notes. I haven't started looking through this sewing patterns book yet. However, I know that most of the things in there aren't actually sewing patterns. They are ideas, YouTube video ideas. This is a list of YouTube ideas or different notes for YouTube, sewing patterns, crochet patterns, and then just over the back, sort of here, is random things and notes for work which need to go somewhere else. So I'm going to have a 5-minute break probably, and this is the floor, by the way. This is all the notes and things that I've got. This bag here is, so the bag that I've just moved is stuff for my husband, is presents, and then all the rest of it is stuff that I need to get rid of. So yeah, and then I've got some boxes and folders down here to go through. So yeah, quite a lot going on. It's the storm before the calm, hopefully. My plan for the moment is to probably empty out any sewing patterns from this box, put it in with the other sewing patterns, and then use this for YouTube ideas, just so then they are easier to organise. And yeah, that's it for the moment, and then the sorting will continue. So here I am, just putting all the work documents and miscellaneous documents into different files. I've put a little post-it note on the front to say miscellaneous to sort and work to sort. I will do those another time. As I said, I can't do everything all in once, unfortunately. Here I am, just really reading through each of the notes and putting them into files again. This is the pattern book. So I found that I had a lot of sewing patterns and crochet patterns in there. So I'm taking all of the crochet patterns out and filling it with just sewing patterns. Again, the post-it notes come in handy. I'm just writing on each of them what the pattern is for, if it's just pattern pieces. So for example, I've got a pattern piece that is just for the bodice of my wedding dress. There's one that I did use and one I didn't use. Here I am again, sorting out some more sewing patterns. These are mainly ones in individual files, so I'm just putting those into files and putting them into the folder. I did make some sections in this file, so I can't remember exactly what I had, but the first one was clothing, then I had toys, then I had miscellaneous, and one for applique or cross stitch patterns, because I do have quite a few apparently. And again, I'm just taking a lot of the notes out of my other file. So I've spent over an hour going through stuff so far. So to be honest, I'm not especially decluttering with the patterns. I am just sorting them out. So this is now my sewing folder, so all of my sewing patterns are in here. This so that I've organised them in terms of wearables, accessories. I've got loads of toy patterns in here for some reason. I've never made any of them, but I must have gone through a phase of, I don't know, making toy patterns. I also put a divider at the front so that I could put all of my concepts in there. I really love, and I've done this for years, to design different sewing patterns, and when I do that I draw them all down. So I've got lots of concepts in here, different lists that I've made for various different sewing patterns that I would like to do. Probably won't use them, to be honest, but I feel like this task is long enough without going through everything as well as organising it, if that makes sense. I spoke to a family member. I have also heard the quote/advice that it takes a long time to build up clutter, and So to get rid of it, it can't be expected to be done in one sitting. It is something that you will have to continue coming back to. So as I said, once I've decluttered this room a bit more and organised things a bit better, then I can keep coming back to this folder of various sewing patterns, and if I make them, great. If I don't want to make them anymore, I can get rid of them. That's not an issue. But yeah, it's much better organised at the moment. It is so thick because the sewing patterns, where they have, some of them have already been used, they are really fat now. So yeah, but that is sewing patterns done. Now to organise my crochet patterns, and it'll be the same concept, so putting them all into a folder. God, I can't even hold this. Let's start the timer. I think I am going to use this folder that you're sat on. Pardon me. This is all of the scrap paper that I got rid of. So you will have seen in one of the clips that I was actually going through all of my notes and transferring them onto lists that were a bit better, i.e. transferring them from 20 bits of paper or 30, 40, 50 bits of paper onto a couple of sheets so that they are easier to organise. So yes, this is the result of that. Saved a lot of space. This is the finished organised little nook. So we've got my important documents, certificates, I've got crochet patterns, this is receipts, these are my sewing patterns, this is an old computer that I need to go through, punch pockets and miscellaneous documents. And then of course I've got stuff that needs to be uploaded to Vinted. But that is all sorted now, so it looks so much better and it is much more organised now. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you find some inspiration to start looking through all of your random documents and organise them a bit better if they look anything like mine did at the start of this video. So thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time for another destashing video. Bye!